So, in the second film, Miranda is still, of course, running the fashion magazine Runway. And then, Andy, you are a feature editor. So, we would love to ask you, actually, when you think about our country, when you think of Korea, what would you say is the number one representative, or, it could be a brand, it could be a person. What do you think is worthy of a feature article about Korea?
I think that right now, Korea is such a dominant force, in particular in youth culture. I think that Korea is leading the way in so many areas, in particular music, and in particular, I think a lot of fashion, skincare. So I think those areas of interest that are very interesting to people. Of course, Korea is so much richer than those particular subjects. But if I was a features editor and I wanted to appeal to a lot of readers, I would probably focus on those incredible aspects of Korean culture.
Well, I'm very interested in Korean barbecue because I live part of the time in Los Angeles, and we go to a place in Downey, which is near a hockey rink where my son used to play, and we have Korean barbecue, and I'm very into it. I think if I were... I completely agree with everything you said about what comes to us in the press in the United States is youth culture. I have 6 grandchildren. They all know every word of K-pop Demon Hunters, all the songs. They're very influenced by K-culture right now. And that's exciting because it means that the world is connected. And that we are in each other's lives in a way that you're in our children's lives in a way that I didn't grow up that connected to many parts of the world. And it's a good lesson that we are connected and we all depend on each other.
May I add one thing to that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't say that would be who we were if we were fashion editors, but considering that we're actresses, I think we would just want to come and interview so many directors. I think we would want to come and interview Director Park and Director Bong, and so I just had to mention that.
Yeah. It's been 20 years since the first film came out, and it's wonderful to see just how incredibly beautiful you both women are. And it doesn't feel like, a day has passed since the first film. So many of us have been eagerly waiting for the second story, and it took quite a long time. My first question is, are there any particular elements about the story in the second film that is only possible to tell because it's 2026? And then the second question is, what does The Devil Wears Prada mean to the both of you?
Well, the film we made in 2006, I think, it came out the year before the iPhone. There were no iPhones. I mean, that thing that you all have in your pockets and or whatever brand you carry has changed everything. It's changed everything in publishing. It's changed everything in our business. And so our business has become atomized, and we're all sort of in a shifting landscape of how to maintain the financial world in the face of these challenges. Certainly that's where this film comes in. We begin 20 years after that in that changing media landscape where Miranda is challenged by how to keep her business afloat. And Andrea, you talk about you, but I'll talk about her for her. And she is coming from, at the end of the last film, she throws her phone in the, throws it in the fountain, and she goes off to work in legitimate journalism, investigative journalism. I won't say legitimate, investigative journalism that has higher stakes than maybe just the fashion world. So she comes back in this one with those same challenges that Miranda is fielding, and so they are sort of in the same boat.
Yeah. First of all, I agree with everything that Meryl just said, and you can't overestimate the the effect the digital revolution has had on all aspects of our lives, but in particular when it comes to journalism and fashion journalism. Looking at it from a character point of view, you know, Andy Sachs is 22 in the first film. She's just graduated from college, so she is full of ideas, but a little light on life experience. And in this film, she's had 20 years to go out and live the life that she's wanted to live to the best of her ability. And so I think that she's acquired skills, she's acquired a point of view, she's acquired experience, I think a fair bit of humility, but also confidence. And so I think that in order for her to walk through the door as a formidable potential partner for Miranda, it would have taken that amount of time for it to feel legitimate.
You are back on screen after 20 years. Can you tell us what your acting chemistry is like between the two of you? And then one more question to Meryl is, you know, globally you are known as the GOAT, of course. So as the greatest of all time, we'd love to hear, in your perspective, how has Anne changed over the past 20 years as an actor?
Never mind.
Whoa!
There it is. There's the chemistry. No, go ahead.
Are you sure? So one of the things I remember from the first film, just being struck by, was so much of Meryl's power comes from how deep a listener she is. And I think that especially when you're a young actor, so much of your acting can feel presentational, like you just really want to do a good job. But I got to see Meryl just act from such a deep place inside of her. I could see her brain working. And I thought, oh, that's what it is. And so I think our chemistry is just her being great and me being in awe. And it just kind of works out.
I think our chemistry was different in the first one because we didn't know each other, and I tend to come into the set on the first week like it's a party, and I'm ready to have fun because I love the hang, and I did that for a couple days, and then I realized it was not valuable, and I sort of had to pull back and stay in my trailer while they all had fun with each other. And so I was kind of miserable on the first. It's my own fault. It was a decision. But this time I just really, I loved reigniting the energy between us. And I loved meeting you as a full-blown woman, not a young girl on the cusp of. It's been just a great just a great pleasure. It was a pleasure. It was great seeing Emily Blunt again, and the fabulous. I mean, Stanley Tucci. I can't get rid of him. He's in my life forever. We'd made a couple of films together anyway, but it was wonderful, the chemistry. The thing that's sort of embedded in what I'm saying, she really hasn't changed. The essence of you. And because we're on a press tour, and I am saying this over and over, it doesn't mean I don't mean it. You're so fresh and immediate, and you meet the moment open-hearted, and that's all you ask from a partner, you know, an acting partner and a friend.